hope people at the festival take their time and really sit with some of these whiskeys. They're very special. I know when you're at a festival, there's a lot of pressure to taste everything and go through every line really fast, but I hope some people spend some time with these. There's a lot of complexity. They're very special. Macaulay and I, and the whole team taste so many whiskeys that we don't buy and that are not for us and that don't represent what we want to be as a brand. And so for every one of these that's on the table, we probably tasted at least 5 lots that we said, nope, that's not for us. KBF is our Super Bowl. We try to bring the best stuff that represents the brand and try to make folks very excited for what we're releasing and just blow them away with the complexity and the flavors that can be experienced in each one of these whiskeys.
All right, we're here with the Dark Arts crew. We're going to be talking about the 6 different expressions that we're going to be debuting at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. I'm Sarah. I'm a spirit guide here at Dark Arts. And why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm David, co-founder and CEO of Dark Arts Whiskey House.
I'm Kimmy Douglas, lead spirit guide here at Dark Arts Whiskey House.
Macaulay Minton, president and chief alchemist of Dark Arts Whiskey House.
I'm Jacob Ripito. I'm a blender and distiller here at Dark Arts.
So altogether, kind of a team effort. Selected and blended and crafted these 6 unique expressions to bring to you at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. All right, so the first one that we have is a 19-year Mizunara cask finished bourbon. David, you want to tell us about a little bit about that one, how we came by it?
World-class nose, toasted marshmallows, very delicate, very complex.
This is actually going to be the oldest bourbon that Dark Arts Whiskey House has released. Even though the statement on the front of it says it's 19 years old, there might have been a secret 6 months of extra maturation. This was in those Mizunara casks for about 7 years. And the thing about those older whiskeys and something we try to curtail around is you get so much barrel nuance in there. And this being a double oak, it doesn't drink that way. Like I've had 20-plus-year-old whiskeys, and sometimes it's just tannin. It's like wood char. It's
Dry.
all this dryness, all those negative notes that you want to get out of it. The attention to detail on this choice selection of the Mizunara cask, rickhouse position, and the composition of the blend really set this apart from just being a older age stated whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. I typically find like what I call my oak threshold to be around that 15, 16, 17 year mark of when I find that things get a little bit too much oak influence. It doesn't feel as balanced and more directional. And then you add the Mizunara cask on top of it. I was a little worried the first time I tasted this of like, I'm going to think this is overly oaked. But the factors that you said, it's so well balanced. It doesn't go that way at all. You get the sweetness of the bourbon. You get the complexity that the Mizunara cask brings and the maturity from the 19 years that a lot of folks I think are looking for. And it just creates this really exceptional, it's a whiskey that you do not get to taste every day. I mean, this is some rare combinations of this age statement in this mash bill with this finish.
Yeah, definitely with this one, you still get that nice sandalwood aromatic on the nose. That it invites you into this nice subtle marshmallow note on this one. It drives it through and through. The heat on this one is approachable. It's not overstated. It is definitely something you have to look for.
There's definitely a little bit of fruit element in the nose.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm getting orchard fruit and some like bubblegum esters. It's very, very pleasant, along with that marshmallow.
I was trying to hold back from saying like Fruity Pebbles cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, wait, I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's very, very approachable.
Like in the most sophisticated way. Yeah, Fruity Pebbles or like the Lucky Charms marshmallows or something. Just
Absolutely.
Like,
Think about that milk.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Blend
but
the two
really,
cereals. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
but really high end.
On the palate, though, I mean, this one's silky for me. I mean,
Yes.
you get that toasted marshmallow, you get a little bit of that fruit element. Trust me, it doesn't taste like Fruity Pebbles cereal and milk. Then you get that deep oak flavor profile. It's questions like what it is, because it's not overly like white oak or overly Mizunara. I think those oak profiles and that time of maturation complement and enhance each other instead of trying to overpower or masculine each other.
This is truly a one of one. The combination of the distillery, a mash bill they don't do very often, the aging location, the Mizunara casks, there's nothing else like it really that's ever been created and that may ever be created again. It really is a one-on-one.
Most importantly, Dark Arts releasing something like this.
Right. It's truly special.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
that's the modality of a whiskey house. We are curators of the finest spirits, and we only release exceptional plus. And I think this is plus on that. I mean, we have a whole bouquet of flavors and colors on the table, but I mean, this one right here is a once-in-a-lifetime pour, a once-in-a-lifetime bottle. If you're not going to purchase it, at least come by and try this out at our booth.
Who is this whiskey for?
Ooh, that's a good
For the
question.
ballers.
I think like when you have your connoisseurs that come to Kentucky Bourbon Fest and get their, their VIP tickets and they're after the bottle, like the people who want the releases that are coming to KBF, what people are bringing, the heat, if you will. This is the heat, right? So if you want something extremely special and unique that will probably never exist again, I would say this is the one.
Yeah, for me, this is the swagger bottle. I mean, there's not too many people or bars in the world that are going to have this age statement, Mizunara, that mash bill, that proof whatsoever. So this is one that you're not going to want to miss out on.
Right. This is a lot of time to spend in a Mizunara cask, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Close to 7 years. I mean, such a porous wood, lots of loss typically, and like we got these barrels and they were pristine and had a lot of good quality spirit in them.
Yeah, this is for the folks that have hundreds of bottles in their cabinet, love a lot of wood on a well-aged whiskey, and want something that is different from the other high-age statement whiskeys in their cabinet. Again, it's truly unique, a one of one, and it is special. The nose is world-class. The palate is beautiful. The finish is powerful. This is one of those whiskeys. There's so much complexity you can sit and think about and really sip slowly and enjoy. It evolves in the glass. I mean, 15 minutes of airtime on this whiskey. It's crazy how much it changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and without having to say it, this is one of the rarest whiskeys that we've ever put out. So if you were at KBF Thursday night or Friday morning, I highly, highly recommend you to come by the booth, because once this expression's gone, this will never be brought back to the world again.
Mine's gone.
Mine's gone.
All right, so next on the table we have our 13-year triple barrel blend. It's a Kentucky bourbon. I don't know, David or Macaulay, who's best to tell us the story behind how these barrels came about, how this blend came about. If Kimmy will do the honors of pouring.
Yeah, winery out west picked up some heritage distillate when it was about 7 years old, 75, 10, 12 mash bill, and put it into virgin French oak casks, and this rested in virgin French oak casks for about 7 years. So it's a 13-year-old product. There were 6 of these casks. We finished one. This is a 3-barrel blend, and then we dropped 2 single barrels of this here at the Whiskey House. This 3-barrel blend is fantastic. I'm super partial to it. 125 proof, and certainly doesn't drink it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, so a lot of people that are pretty well known about this brand know that we have a passion and love for country of France, specifically the many woods of France. I think we probably use 4 or 5 different profiles of toast on it. This is a kind of an exception to the lineup because this actually went into branded French oak cask, which we're really excited with how this flavor profile turned out.
Whenever I was writing tasting notes for this, I wrote for like the vibes. I was like a dessert at a fine dining restaurant that costs way too much, but it's totally worth it. And that's what it reminds me of drinking it. Like you get so many of those like really rich, desserty, vanilla, like torch sugars. Again, like with the Mizunara, with the 19 year, the Mizunara finished cask, the oak balance on this one being 13 years old and then double oaked in the French oak, it's still very balanced. It's not overly oaky or wood forward.
Not at all. I get a ton of graham cracker on the palate of like a fine dessert. I think about the crumbly graham crackery crust that's on a key lime pie or like a vanilla custard. It's probably that's really the main flavor I get on the palate. I just enjoy it so much. I love this beer.
Yeah, me too. This one, oh, go ahead.
I mean, on the nose, you get some of that rye spice in there, but it's not bold, over peppery. When I say rye spice, I'm thinking a little bit more of a fruit element to it. And then as it kind of swirls in the glass, it dives into that sweetness. I pull out that graham cracker note in there. So like this is one of those pours that makes me entranced with it. It's like that slow dance where you start getting a little bit closer and closer throughout the song.
Definitely doesn't drink like 125.
No, it does not.
Not at all.
Yeah, the more I sip it, the longer it sits open. I get that like graham cracker, vanilla bean ice cream or custard, and then like I get a lot of chocolate covered hazelnuts. So, like I said, very desserty, bougie desserty. I love it. Yeah, but like still very sophisticated with that 13 year and the French oak element.
My palate leans sweeter. I love sweeter bourbons, and this just hits me perfectly.
Yeah, this one gives me like Ferrero Rocher vibes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
For sure. Definitely.
I'm envisioning that now.
Yeah.
And some chocolate and that.
We'll have to try that pairing.
element in there.
I'll go grab it.
That's a
Yeah.
good one, yeah.
Maybe we'll just like have those on Thursday night for the VIP. We'll just toss them into the crowd. All right, so this next one that we have is actually the single barrel selection that the Kentucky Bourbon Festival did for the event this year. I hosted their barrel pick, and I'm very selfishly, they ended up with the one that I liked the best. So this is an Oloroso Sherry. It's a 9-year Oloroso Sherry Finished Barely Legal Bourbon. So that's our 51 corn, 39 rye, 10% malted rye mash bill. I really love these with an Oloroso Sherry or a Cab Sauv finish, which Macaulay does extremely well. But yeah, 118.4 proof, 0.6, something like that. And yeah, I can't get over it. This is so delicious.
Get those sweet Oloroso Sherry notes on the nose.
Goodness.
Very inviting.
Goodness.
I wrote that this one's like going to the drive-in in the summer with a big cherry Coke and a box of chocolate, like candy from the concession stand. It's just like such a vibe about it.
And the mouthfeel on this one is just, it's oily, it's viscous. I mean, this is just a standout whiskey. And Sarah was talking about the mash bill a moment ago. Like, this is one of a very super unique. It's the highest high rye bourbon that you can possibly make. And when we first started getting into these barrels, I was thinking it was going to be bold, spicy rye, but that foundation whiskey just pulls out really nice fruit notes, that element of chocolate. And what I like about Oloroso Sherry is like you get that like hazelnut or dried fruit in there, so it all melds very well together. It's sweet. It has a light spice profile, but an extremely long finish with a lot of viscosity and oil to it.
This is the only single barrel on the table. Everything else is small batch. So this is your lowest bottle count, and it's your most affordable. So at $99, I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think this one being, age range lower, not having like the secondary elements of some of these other ones with the, more rare French oaks, Mizunara, it really does hang in there.
Absolutely.
But one thing I'll say about this, and I mean about our entire lineup is here and the brand is when we talk about wine finishes and French oak finishes, like there's some other companies out there that it's like, all right, I'm drinking a glass of Oloroso Sherry with a whiskey sideback or something like that. That's not what the approach is on this whatsoever. So when we're going into these different mash bills and finishes, we're looking for things that are going to complement and enhance the profile of the whiskey and not mask that beautiful high rye mash bill.
Yeah, I think that like chocolatey fruit note that you were talking about in the mash bill really comes through nicely on the palate. Like I wrote on my tasting notes that it was, cocoa powder and ripe fruit and like cherry cola.
Are you cheating from
very,
your notes
very
right now?
viscous. I have them on hand. I do. They're my notes. I wrote them. I can use my own notes.
No,
Yeah,
this
this is
one,
ultra approachable, like to someone that didn't, love very, crazy high proof whiskeys. For this being cask strength, it's ultra approachable. The Oloroso Sherry really tones it down, some of the spice, and complements it well. So like Sarah said, you get some of that dark fruit, some cherry, and then of course, the chocolatey from the malted rye, especially.
I would never guess that it's as high a rye content as it is.
Right? Yeah.
No, it's a great balance on this one. Chocolate covered cherries, absolutely. I'm getting a low cheesecake note, and
I feel that.
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, okay.
it is. Yeah, it's
creaminess.
giving me. Yeah, I love it.
Who's this whiskey for?
Ooh.
The baddies. Like that little sweet thing every now and then.
That
Yes,
little balance of the
absolutely.
sweet and the
But
spice.
refined.
Yeah, I think this one's for everyone.
If you look for really fantastic mouthfeel, like velvety and viscous and coating,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this.
I think this one's a big crowd pleaser too. Like in terms of just being right there in the middle with the age, the balance has both that sweet and savory, or like the chocolatey earthy. It's just very balanced, very approachable. Yeah, this one's for
I
everyone.
think this covers.
I wish we had enough for everyone, but.
This one, yeah.
All right, so the fourth one that we have is an 11.5-year Hazmat Bourbon, 144.4 proof. Who got excited about that one? Like that one is, who let y'all get away with that?
12 barrel blend.
12 barrel blend.
Very low yields across the barrels. Heritage Distillery, 75-21-4 mash bill.
That's the same mash bill as the Mizunara, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually named this one the Flight of Icarus. So if you don't know the story of Icarus, I'll give you the 2-point bullets on that one. Icarus was given wings and flew too high towards the sun, and the wings melted, and that was ultimately his demise. So little mythology on that one.
So
Reference.
is this like the opposite of Red Bull? Like it will melt your wings? I mean, we know that a lot of the folks that go to KBF, they're proof hounds. They love high proof hazmat things. But I think the goal is to create something that appeases that want, but also maintains its character and flavor. It isn't just hot, which I know that you would never put anything else out there like that.
We have been presented hazmat ultra high proof products all over the existence of this company. This is actually the first time we've ever purchased anything because we don't buy on proof. We buy on taste and quality, and that's it. We're not proof hounders, even though most of the things that we do are high proof or cask strength. This was honestly probably the hardest blend that was put together on the table, just based off of the cask volumes of it, the proof. I remember when we started doing this blend, the team put everything on a spreadsheet, and I also put my notes on a spreadsheet and was trying to pick out elements from it. I think there was probably 20 iterations of this, and then one night I was like, I'm going old school on it. So what I usually do is I just put samples on the table at the back of the table here, and then I push them around like a soundboard. Because when I was trying to blend off the sheet, I was chasing this cherry note, and then I went back to my usual method and it was like hit it right off the bat, and that's what this came out to be. And
Yeah, I remember when we were tinkering with it, and it was like, okay, well, what if we add this one? Nope, just got hot. Nope, just got hot. So that was definitely a tricky challenge. But what you ended up with was, I get a lot of rich caramel, like caramel corn, caramel candy on this one, on the nose and the palate.
well, hazmat is just one of those that's just so much more difficult to blend, in my opinion, because it's not easy to consume a lot of it at one point. And then with any kind of barrels, I mean, sometimes you think 1 + 1 = 2, but it doesn't at all. With that higher proof, those undertones can be masked. And even if you're going back through and tasting them at a proof down, sample proof, it doesn't always math like that. So this one was put me through the ringer on this one. This was probably the most stressful one to get out, and then it's also probably one of my most proud ones. Of course, you can't beat out any rarity on that, but like this behind the skill of the blend and like the fight and the feat to get this. So that was kind of why the name Flight of Icarus went into that one.
Yeah, we're in year 4, and I've never seen you work harder on a blend. This took weeks and weeks and weeks and so many iterations. It's crazy what happens in the glass when you start mixing some of these barrels together. New flavors show up. Flavors you thought would be there disappear. This was so difficult. I mean, we did 4 and 5 barrel blends, then we jumped up. This is 12 barrel blend. I mean, we were all over the place trying to find the right combination that was super flavorful, but not just burn you up hot on the finish.
Yeah, there's about 9 iterations. Is that correct? Before we finally.
That was before round 2 and 3.
So quite a few different ones. I mean, immediately on the nose, I get like Southern style sweet tea, and then that big cherry note comes through like the mid to finish of the palate. Lots of caramel. It's pretty easy drinking despite the proof, but I definitely understand that blending this one took quite a bit, just because, like Macaulay said, palate fatigue is very real, and it would happen after about the 3rd or 4th barrel. So nice job, man. You did a good job putting it together.
And then honestly, I mean, if someone gave me this blind, I probably wouldn't guess the proof on it. I mean, it has some warmth in the nose, has a little bit of warmth on the palate, but it's not one of those that's gonna like pickle your nose and you feel it way down into your tummy.
No, it's right. I don't immediately have heartburn.
Yeah, I mean, some of these blends just were like jet fuel hot, and it was just like, I don't get anything but heat. This final blend is not that at all. I mean, it's powerful, no question.
Yeah.
But it does not burn you up.
No.
I get a lot of caramel, a lot of cherries. It is super tasty.
Yeah. This is definitely, like you said, this is a nice glass of like Southern sweet tea when you get it up to you, but when you take it down, it is definitely like a caramel bomb. Like, it's not overly done, but it is caramel, like rotating that palate. It just keeps going. It's a nice long
because
finish.
of that proof, it's super oily too, so it spreads across the palate super fast.
Yeah, and it hits you here. It doesn't hit you like here.
Yeah, it's on the esophagus.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Right.
I'm not usually like, having drank, whiskey for many years. Like, I went through the bell curve of like, I like low proof to I like hazmat to now I'm back to where I just like, I want it to taste good. As long as it tastes good and is a balanced overall experience, like, I don't really care if it's hazmat. In fact, I usually avoid them because they're not balanced, but this is one where, like you said, if you gave this to me blind, I'm not guessing 144.4, although it is still very powerful and has all that oily goodness.
I mean, over my blending and like tasting career, I mean, I've tasted stuff that's in the 110s or 108 numbers, and they just drink hotter than this.
Yeah.
So that's one thing like I hear constantly when I'm doing events or tastings is like, our stuff doesn't drink the proof because it's balanced.
Right. It's a testament to the art.
So who is this whiskey for?
This is definitely a stag smasher for sure.
Yes.
So definitely for those proof hounds.
We'll keep hoof and hoof with anyone out there.
Yeah, if you love drinking Stag Junior, this is going to be right up your alley.
Absolutely.
All right, and we have a 21-year light whiskey, 142.7 proof, 4-barrel blend. This is kind of out of left field in this lineup.
Yeah, this is actually the first light whiskey that Dark Arts has ever released.
We got a new label color and everything. This one's called Supernova.
Absolutely.
What sparked that then, if this is our first light whiskey?
Yeah, so light whiskey generally is just super hot and a lot of time lacks flavor. This is the first lot of light whiskey barrels because we've been offered 19 or 17-year light whiskey before. This is the first time we've come across some light whiskey that I felt like had enough flavor to live up to the Dark Arts name. These were actually rebarreled at the 10-year mark. So it's been double oaked basically 11 years after the first 10-year barreling. And then once we got them, we tasted through them and had some more fun with them.
Yeah, so one of the things that being out in the market and just talking to people and telling them that we were going to get some light whiskey, a lot of people I feel like just go ahead and bottle it or blend it. And I'd heard from the murmurings of the MGP lords that they're like, we want to see what Dark Arts does with it. So decided that we wanted to come out with something a little bit different, and me and Jacob worked really hard doing a lot of research on it. And Jacob, you want to talk about kind of that process that we went through?
Yeah, so Macaulay made a small batch blend of the barrels that he found the best for the blend overall. And then we took small quantities and we added different flavored oak staves to them. So we worked with all types of different ones, from butter to butterscotch to caramel to mulberry, tons of different iterations of those. Each week we pulled samples from them to figure out how they were developing over time. And we learned pretty quickly, what worked and what didn't. And Macaulay had a few favorites actually. And you want to talk about, as far as what you added to this?
Yeah, so the profile that we went with is we actually came with a French oak. It was custom toast profile, and the thing that I've found with this is light whiskey doesn't always have a lot of body to it, so we needed to add structure to it, and that custom toast French oak delivered that for us. You get, because a lot of light whiskeys can be hotter on the proof, it can be kind of lighter bodied, and just kind of sweet corn. So we needed to add a little bit of tannic structure and also change that dimension of sweetness, because just think regular sweetness from corn. So with that toasted French oak, we were able to pull in like more of a ultra rich like confectioner or like caramelized wood sugar. I get a little bit darker. It might even be a burnt sugar note on this one.
I would agree.
Definitely a burnt
definitely.
sugar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Relayed sugar.
considering this is a 99% corn, 1% malted barley, typically you think of super ultra sweet just because of the corn, but the richness from this due to the oak staves really, really changed it. Had some nice charred flavor and definitely made it more round.
Yeah. When the Boy Scouts come around at Christmas and sell their tin buckets of popcorn, and there's like the chocolate covered and the caramel covered. The caramel covered popcorn is what this reminds me of. Every time I drink it, I think about that.
I went in like a slightly different direction. I said like a butterscotch pie, which is essentially just like caramelized brown sugar. It's brown sugar pie, but with the toasted meringue that's like torched on the top. Very much that confectionery note, but with more body than just being like sweet corn forward sugar.
I think we're all getting that same like iteration of some of the same notes, because instantly I think of chess pie on this one, and so that is the flavor note that it's continuing to evolve in my mouth.
I mean, and that tannin structure that kind of balances out that heat and that sweet.
Absolutely.
I mean, it makes my mouth salivate waiting for the next pour.
Yeah.
For
Have you guys seen those old Betty Crocker videos where they show the different cakes they can make, and they make the baked Alaska and it's like on fire? It kind of reminds me of this, where it's like they've charred the whipped cream on top. It's definitely along those lines.
Well, speaking of fire, that's part of the reason that we decided to name this this blend Supernova.
Right.
Absolutely.
Isn't that like an explosion of a star?
That is
Yeah.
the sun. Star.
I hope that folks who are watching this have learned to trust Dark Arts over the last 3 or 4 years. We're not going to put out something that's not delicious. You may think, I've tried light whiskey, it's not for me. It's at KBF, the pours are free. Try it, see what you think. This is the best. I mean, I own hundreds of bottles. I have cabinets and shelves full of bottles. I don't think I own a single bottle of light whiskey, but I would absolutely drink this and proudly pour this for people. And so, even if you think light whiskey's not for you, I would encourage you to try it.
Yeah, the oak saves really changed it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not your typical
Not
light
typical
whiskey.
light whiskey.
I mean, I want to take this back to the crib and make some fucking bananas Fosters out of this.
Yeah.
Who is this whiskey for?
Oof. I think this whiskey is for somebody who wants to, outside of just flavor profile, but someone who really wants to understand what kind of transformative things that we're doing here. So to taste sort of, again, that blend, then all of the different experiments that we did leading up to where we ended. This one is really a journey through all of those steps that represent who we are. In addition, all the flavors that we said and the proof. Like if you like high proof, if you like that, those confectionery notes with that tannic body, like this is for you. But yeah, I think it's a great example of who we are and what we do.
If you want to surprise your friends at a bottle share with something that they're not going to expect, I think this is a perfect bottle. You pour it for people and they're like, what is that?
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got a really
I can
long
definitely
finish,
see
too.
me taking this to, a bottle share and people being like, what?
I mean, if someone poured that blind for you, would you automatically say that that's light whiskey?
Absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely not.
It would puzzle me, but I don't know. I would sit with
But
it
it
and
doesn't
tinker
sit
over
with
it. Yeah.
any other distillery that you can just distinguish or anything. So I feel like this right here, for anybody that's looking for something different or like a banger that is a silent killer, that's it.
I mean, plus the age statement. Like everyone wants a bottle that's old enough to drink, right?
Right. It's older.
21-year and hazmat?
Yeah.
What more could
Right,
you ask
exactly.
for?
Pretty unique.
And last but certainly not least, we have our 15-year 5-barrel blend Vieux Rye, 116.64 proof. So Jacob, actually, I think we'll talk about the 5-barrel blend.
Yeah, so this one is 15 years old, hence the name Vieux means very old, so very old rye. This is a 5-barrel blend that we did. David kept trying to increase the blend size by, let's add more barrels, let's make it more available. Obviously, KBF is a time where there's lots of people there that want to try stuff, and so making sure we have availability for everyone. This blend ended up being around like 400-ish bottles, so it's on the low side. We had 8 barrels to choose from. We had these 8 barrels. They told us we could select 4. So playing with the blends, it took me a little bit to figure out, what would work best together, but laying it on this 5-barrel blend. Hey, David, can we please buy 5 barrels instead of 4? I'm sure that there was some long conversations with different suppliers for the barrels, and we ended up being allowed to purchase 5 of them, which resulted in this excellent blend. So this is a 95.5 rye blend, 15 years old. Rye develops a lot quicker than bourbon typically. So to see one this old is pretty unique, especially because they begin to get tannic and pick up some unpleasant notes, especially if they have any earthiness about them. This one does not. This one is absolutely excellent, very balanced, and has a lot going on.
I know that as I've sampled this for, a few people, a few special guests, friends of the brand who've come in, sampled some of these, people who love rye will drink all of these and be like, they're all great in their own way. I love each and every one of them. But people who really love rye are like, that is a sleeper. Kind of like what Kimmy said earlier. This blend turned out fantastic, I think. I'm not usually an unfinished 95.5 rye person by itself. I really love what we do with our finished 95.5s. Mm-hmm. However, these specific barrels, like you were talking, they're not overly tannic, they're not overly earthy or baking spice, or they don't go too far licorice. The balance in this one is amazing.
Well, so much with 95.5, there's a lot of those barrels out in the market that are just those herbaceous bombs, like huge dill bombs, tons and tons of mint in there. That's the main thing is we do not buy anything that has that huge dill note in here. So there is I get a little bit of mint on this palate though, on the front end, but not overpowering, maybe like a slight spearmint.
It's more spearmint than peppermint.
I get sweetness in there, but you don't have that dill pickle or
No, I think I get more of a piney rosemary note. It almost reminds me of being outdoors or walking through a forest in the fall. It's got that chilly outdoorsy vibe, but without being vegetal. Again, no dill, it doesn't taste like dirt in that way that rye is, but they can so often be earthy and that it becomes that way.
I can really tell you guys are rye lovers.
Right. I said it tastes like dirt.
Definitely a
No,
rye
it also
lover.
has this really nice brown butter quality to it and this subtle sweetness and just like what you were saying. It's not, there is a hint of spearmint in there, but it keeps it bright and refreshing. It's not overly any one thing.
No, this is giving me a mint. I won't say mint and not be overly mint, but
This is giving me a subtle mint tea with a crushed, like crackly brown sugar. You know how you put the real brown crystal sugar in it. It's like it's giving me that. As soon as you get it in there, that flavor, that smell, that is the viscosity. It's giving me that. This is awesome.
I'm thinking like alpine vibes. Little
Oh,
spruce
very,
in there.
very alpine vibes. Yeah, like ski trip.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what I wrote, but I wish I had wrote that on my vibes. I'm gonna update my vibes to give
Aspen.
a pour after you come in from skiing all day.
It's a woodsman rye.
Yeah.
A woodsman.
Yeah.
Ooh, a
Rye.
woodsman rye.
I will say I
That
let a
should have been
friend.
the name.
Yeah,
Woodsman
I let a
rye.
friend try this, and he gave me this tasting note, and I didn't really pick it up immediately, but now that I try it over and over, it gives like a little bit of like lime and salt, like margarita kind of flavor.
Yes.
It's very interesting, and it's not something that I would pick up on a whiskey, but like you get a little bit of like lime peel.
Yeah, I am cheating and looking at my notes, but the tasting notes that I wrote, I had like citrus zest as one of them. Mint tea was exactly what I wrote. Like it reminds me of. Sometimes I drink mint tea at night before I go to bed, but like with a piece of chocolate, and it
Yes.
reminds me of that.
That's a good
Very
balance.
comfy, cozy. Like, yeah.
I'm very thankful to our partner and supporter who sold us these barrels. He called me and he's like, "Hey, nobody knows I have these, but would you like to taste them?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to." And so we got to taste all 8 barrels that he had remaining. And he said he'd sell us 4. And the 5-barrel blend was just so perfect that I went back and begged for a 5th barrel. And
That makes it go full circle because I might have ran into some of these business associates and they were bringing up a certain lot and I had no clue what they were talking about.
But very thankful to our supporters who allow us the opportunity to blend these things. I have poured this bottle for a couple of people who've been long-time drinking buddies who have drank probably hundreds of bottles of MGP 95.5 at this point, and they are just blown away. I think this might be a sleeper hit at the festival. If you're a rye lover, I mean, this is just going to knock you off your feet.
Yeah,
would
it
agree.
definitely reminds me of those older MGP, like the old Smooth Ambler ryes and like the
Yes.
the stuff from back in the 2013, 2014 era. Like
Yeah.
this is hitting the spot.
Right.
Old school rise vibes for sure.
Old school
Sure.
rye vibes.
Did any of those get to 15 years though? I feel like a lot of those got bottled at 12 and 13.
I was
They
gonna say
did.
13.
They did.
Yeah.
And is this the oldest rye that we've done?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
15
this is the
years
oldest rye.
is definitely the
Yeah.
oldest we've done.
Some of the oldest things that we've done are on this table.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Each of them, I love how each of them is directionally different and for someone. So if your question, David, is who is this for? I think we've
Yes.
identified that this is for obviously a rye lover, but I think even if you're not a rye lover, if you're afraid of 95.5 ryes because they go to vegetal or earthy or minty, still give this one a try. I think that age and the barrels that we got and the way that it was blended really create something special that doesn't go directionally those ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sarah, let's talk scarcity. So we mentioned that this one has about 400 bottles. You want to go down the line and kind of discuss as far as bottle quantities, what people can expect.
It's
so that way-
limited. Come up and see us
Yeah.
Yeah,
first.
come line up. Beeline to the Dark Arts tent right away.
Well, each
LCO.
of these was based on, what we could acquire, what we could craft. Like we said, there's, 12 barrels in that hazmat blend. However, they were all light barrels
Very
because they're
short.
11 and a half year and they're hazmats. So, varying degrees of availability across all of these. Definitely come see us if you're there on Thursday at the VIP night. Check in with us then to see what's available. But Friday morning, I would say, if you're interested in these, make us an early stop. They're, we make what we make and it is an art and a craft and whatever we have. It's not that we won't try to create something similar in the future. Could we do so? But a lot of these we won't see these barrels again. They are limited, as Macaulay said.
Yeah.
What's here on the table is what we have for KBF, and when it's gone, it's gone.
All of these barrels have a unique story. They came out under unique circumstances, and when I could, I bought the entire lot on every one of them. I don't think you're going to taste anything from any other brand that tastes like these. Through the finishing, through the blending, through the sourcing, these have all been transformed. They're all very unique. They're all exceptional, but they are all very special in their own way.
So I would like to say one thing. I think that this lineup honestly represents the essence of what the name Whiskey House means to us. We aren't bound by tradition. We don't have to have one mash bill that we have to figure out how to move and sell. So being able to pull in diversity into our portfolio, and also the idea of once something's gone, it's gone forever. That's what makes our brand unique. And come check us out.
Shout out our barrel hustler, David.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to make you guys pick your favorite child. What's your favorite on the table?
So tough. These are all fantastic whiskeys, and I will drink every one of them, no questions asked. But I've got to go with the 19-year in Mizunara. It is truly exceptional. The nose is world class, one of the best noses over my 15 years of drinking whiskeys I've ever smelt on a whiskey. Super complex, just a beautiful, beautiful palate, beautiful finish. It is truly special, and I know that we'll never be able to create it again, and so it just holds a special place in my heart. The fact that I chased those barrels for a year and a half before we got our hands on them, it's got to be my favorite.
You?
Kimmy, go first.
Kimmy, go first.
I would say for me personally, I'm going to go here with the 13-year heritage brand French oak finish, and then I'm definitely going the rye. I'm a rye girl at heart, and that one definitely speaks to me and my flavor preferences. So those two definitely are something that are going home with me. So
I'm gonna pull out one of those woo-woo quotes, like it's not always about the destination, it's the journey kind of vibe on that one. And I'm gonna have to go with this one right here. That's
Gotcha.
the Hazmat.
Hazmat.
11.5 high rye bourbon. That one just put me through the ringer and challenged me physically, mentally.
It's earned a special place. Right.
And I'm super proud of how to be able to pull that through, because like sometimes you get into a project and like it's just like, instead of remodeling the house, I might accidentally burn it down and walk away, or you just keep through in perseverance. And this one really shined, and it goes back to the story I told earlier. It was like I tried to get like this methodology and do this analytically, and then it was just like I'm going back to the roots. I'm doing this intuitively, and then it was just like, just got to stay with the roots and who you are. And I think this blend out of most of these, maybe this one's also the second one up there. I can't forget my light whiskey boo, but I think those really speak to what I've been trying to do with some of these expressions and this brand.
Jacob?
I think that the KBF pick team did an excellent job with the Oloroso Sherry Finished Barely Legal. That's definitely my number 2, but I'm clearly pouring some more of my number 1.
Right.
As a rye lover, this one is definitely my go-to. And
Yo, Jacob,
to
pass me that.
any rye lover,
Right.
this is definitely the way. Cheers.
I am going to be one of those people that's like, I can't pick my favorite. I'll say, I obviously think, as we've had this conversation, and they are each for someone unique and different. And I think that there is a person at KBF who will try and love all of these. I love the KBF Barrel Select is special to me because I love our barely legal finishes, and those, those wine finishes are super special to me. And again, also at that price point, just think that's incredible.
They did a good job.
The light whiskey reminds me of having dessert at like my grandma's house, but like me and my cousins got in the liquor cabinet. It just has this like very fun, unique vibe to it that I think it is really great. I think it will surprise a lot of people. But man, that 19-year Mizunara cask finish, like the toasted marshmallow graham cracker, like
It's special.
it's very special. So what I really like about what we've done and what you all have done this year is that we've got different offerings for different people at different price points. So no matter where you're coming to us from, like I think that you will be able to try something that you feel is special to you and accessible to you.
I hope people at the festival take their time and really sit with some of these whiskeys. They're very special. I know when you're at a festival, there's a lot of pressure to taste everything and go through every line really fast, but I hope some people spend some time with these. There's a lot of complexity. They're very special. Macaulay and I, and the whole team taste so many whiskeys that we don't buy and that are not for us and that don't represent what we want to be as a brand. And so for every one of these that's on the table, we probably tasted at least 5 lots that we said, nope, that's not for us. KBF is our Super Bowl. We try to bring the best stuff that represents the brand and try to make folks very excited for what we're releasing and just blow them away with the complexity and the flavors that can be experienced in each one of these whiskeys.
All right, well,
See
thanks
you guys
for,
at KBF.
yeah, we'll see you all at KBF. Thanks for drinking with us this morning.
Cheers.
Cheers.